I'm Nick Hughes, and this is Founders Live Conversations.
Would maybe be afraid to do this or have concerns. You obviously probably get those. So what sort of responses do you have with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to be cautious. You know, this isn't like an old established technology that, you know, you can go down and, like, I don't know, get a newspaper. You know, like it's something that's very new and cutting edge, and as a result, people are a little concerned about, you know, what's going to happen, you know, in the future, and what are the risks to me. So what we try to do is we try to be as transparent as possible, and we also try to educate. And we say, you know, here are, you know, all the use cases today. Here's what's in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Here's how we do our security. Here's how we do our privacy. And, you know, for risks, we also upfront. It is a blood draw. You know, there is a needle involved, but at the same time, there are alternatives which go through your bone marrow. Then you need a huge needle and go into your bone. And we decided, you know, we want to minimize the risk to the consumer, so we don't want a giant needle going into your hip, but we also need to make sure that the quality and the amount of cells we can collect is sufficient. So we went with a blood draw versus like a cheek swab or a urine sample.
And in the future, do you see this being pretty commonplace? Which is, what I mean is having a stem cell somewhere where if I'm going to have a procedure, it's just almost like, you know, I get an eye exam every 2 years and they have the prescription there. Like, do you imagine it's almost that commonplace in the future?
Yeah, I think we're going to head there, and it just depends on when that will happen. You know, is it 10 years off or 30 years off? But if you think about most of the big scary diseases out there right now, they're scary because there's not really good outcome for people to take care of them, right? So, you know, if you get a headache, you just take ibuprofen, and, you know, I mean, you wouldn't die of a headache, but there's things you can do if you have, you know, specific conditions like arthritis, though, where you don't really have a great cure. Your knees will hurt forever if you're older. Here's an opportunity for us to really, like, once and for all end that pain and restore that function. So, you know, for an individual, and once they're getting older and these different parts of their body that are shutting down, yeah, I think that, you know, this will become much more commonplace because that's the only way for them to get relief or to improve their quality of life. So, you know, is it going to be as common as taking aspirin or ibuprofen? I don't think it'll ever get to that point because, you know, this is a technology, this is a therapy, but I think for people who are, you know, want to live healthier and longer, this will become